Hello there, my very good friends. On this wrestling news video, there is backstage heat on a top AEW act. I'm Andy.
I'm Adam.
And I'm doing the wrong part of the intro. It's the news. Who do you think this top AEW act with backstage heat on them is, Adam?
I know. It's the Herz Syndicate.
It's the Herz Syndicate, apparently. Yeah. It's been a while, in the words of Stain, since we've had one of these drama-style stories in AEW.
We love the drama, though, don't we?
We're drama llamas, us.
Yeah.
Anywhere it happens, it doesn't matter where. Look, Gossip Girl forever. Once again, putting Gossip Girl over on the news. Now, AEW drama is largely, at least in terms of it getting public, largely a thing of the past.
I was going to say, in the grand scheme of things, this is like low level compared to what we've had in the past.
Yeah, certain people don't work there anymore, which I think helps a lot. Now, there is a note in this Fightful report that we're about to talk about that people in AEW believe this is like the best locker room they've seen in years, and usually when issues arise, most people on the roster just dismiss them. Mm-hmm. It's in the words of Joe Kinnear, it's water off a duck's arse. in most cases. However, this one appears to have ruffled a few feathers. Yeah. So again, it's Fightful with the report. Now, apparently, somebody called JCup2013 did a Twitter space recently claiming that MVP, not MJF, wrong M, had rubbed people the wrong way, and this had caused a bit of heat in AEW. Apparently, talent have been echoing this for several months, according to Fightful, and they've heard similar. So it's not just some guy made some stuff up, Fightful have heard the same. Mm-hmm. They haven't heard about Shelton or Bobby in particular, but apparently MVP dislikes Mike Bailey.
Okay.
What did Mike Bailey do? He just comes in and does his karate.
Put some shoes
stuff.
On, you idiot.
Yeah. Cut your hair. Stop doing flips. How could you hate Mike Bailey?
Cut those sideburns, Bailey.
What's going on there? Has Mike Bailey, what did he do? Did he, steal MVP's cup of coffee or something? Like, pee in his cornflakes? Something mean.
Nicked his cane.
He might have stolen the cane.
Yeah.
Cane.
Or kicked it with one of his karate kicks and snapped it in half.
Yeah, taking it out. Nobody knows why, apparently. But apparently MVP has made this clear, and he didn't want the Herz Syndicate losing to Jet Speed, which is Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight. Mm-hmm. Fightful were never informed that losing to Jet Speed was actually on the cards, but MVP didn't want that, apparently. Now, there have been some creative pitches along the way. This is probably the juiciest part. Fightful don't know how far along these got, but apparently at one point, there was a thing of FTR beating the Hurt Syndicate at All In to start a redemption story. That was one pitch. FTR versus Swerve and Ospreay was also pitched, but Ospreay's injury has derailed his creative plans coming out of All In. And after that, apparently FTR would face Cope and Christian, which is on the cards still. There is an internal claim in AEW that the Hurt Syndicate said no to losing to FTR at All In and Forbidden Door. Ooh. That's an interesting one. Now, there's more to this report, but let's pick this one apart for a little while, right? FTR starting a redemption story at All In. That's far too early.
I was about to say, it feels like, I know it's not, they've just turned, but it feels like a long running thing for them.
This should last years.
Yeah, I think I think I prefer them for the most part as heels, to be perfectly honest.
Me too.
That's how they started out in just business for me, as the revival, of course. And
sir, this mechanics erasure will not,
of course,
will not stand.
But I mean, they shouldn't be turning babyface anytime soon. The Herz Syndicate are in an interesting position, aren't they? Because they are the most dominant tag team right now in AEW, arguably, and it's difficult to see. Sometimes when they build someone up like Mox or Roman Reigns or whoever as a an undefeatable champion, you can generally say, right, well, I don't know, 6 months, a year down the line, it'll be one of these people. It'll be Hangman, it'll be Darby, or it'll be Cody, or Sami Zayn, or whatever. I right now can't pick a team that I think they're the ones to really dethrone the Hurt Syndicate and just kind of put them in their place. I can see people maybe nicking the titles by a surprise fluke or whatever, but there's not an obvious tag team right now that you're like, right, well, they're going to get slowly built up and then finally dethrone. Unless you want to do more Swerve, Will Ospreay stuff.
They need to build someone up, I think. And Jet Speed, I think, would be a good team to build up, but apparently that's not happening.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't go into the match with Jet Speed or any matches that they've had, because they've had a few, obviously, with Jet Speed, thinking, yeah, this is the time and this is the place. I really like Jet Speed.
Me too.
And, I'm biased towards Mike Bailey because we had him in WCPW and he couldn't have been nicer. And, yeah, I can't really see what would rub you the wrong way about Mike Bailey, to be honest. He just seems like a nice bloke.
We don't see everything, obviously.
No,
We're not in the locker room. But yeah.
But, yeah, at the same time, and I will say, all the love in the world for the Herz Syndicate and MVP. I think they've been a breath of fresh air ever since they sort of formed in AEW. But it does seem on occasion that MVP has to get the last word in sometimes.
He does.
Sometimes goes a little bit too far. I get that there's like, shoots and not shoots, but like back and forth in promos, and you want to win them sort of thing. But there was one with, who was it? Was it with Brian Keith and Big Bill, where he just sort of like before they even built up the match, he was like, "Well, you guys suck, and we're better than you." So
yeah, build it up first.
Like, well, give him a chance, mate.
Before we kind of like dive into the rest of this stuff, while I think that doing the FTR redemption, I would have rejected that too. That's way too early.
Yeah.
One thing that you can't do soon enough is sign up to NordVPN, my very good friends. 76% off, up to 4 months for free, up to a $50 Amazon gift card. Link is in the description and on your screen in the little QR code. Sign up now, protect yourself online. Just like the Herz Syndicate are protecting themselves in their booking.
Yeah.
Now, apparently MVP, he would prefer if the Herz Syndicate lost to younger teams, right?
Right.
To put them over. The specific teams that he prefers are apparently GOA, Gates of Agony, who have a new kind of thing going on with Ricochet at the moment, but they're also heels. The Outrunners, the youngest men alive.
No arguments from me.
So that adds up. They are the youngest men alive. And Private Party were cited, but they seem to be on the way out.
Yeah.
They're open to losing to Swerve and Ospreay as well. I mean, it's the two biggest singles guys that aren't Hangman, isn't it? But apparently that's not much of a consideration at the moment because of Ospreay's injury. Now, Fightful checked with the company about these three teams, and it's, these preferred teams. The Herz Syndicate have already beaten all three of them, of course. And there are apparently some of the frustrations in the locker room stem from the fact that the Herz Syndicate are heels that do cool moves, beat everyone up, and give fans high fives.
I was about to say, what are the Herz Syndicate? I know technically they're heels, but they're not necessarily received. I know you and I have daily conversations with Sid, for example, about what a heel is in professional wrestling in 2025. But like, they're sort of personification of this because, yes, they are heels. They've always been heels. But they're so cool and badass and winning all the time. And like the building up of MJF joining the Herz Syndicate was one of the best things going on in AEW at that time. That appears to have gone away, although I'm not 100% sure that he's officially kicked out. I sense this might be some sort of work to maybe help him beat Mark Briscoe tonight. I don't know.
It's noted here that was meant to go a little bit longer. As well. So
I don't think that's the end of that storyline, to be honest.
No, me neither. But like, look, I'll tell you what I think the Herz Syndicate are. I think they're effing awesome. I love the Herz Syndicate. They're one of my favorite things in wrestling. I've always loved Bobby Lashley. Mm-hmm. Always felt Shelton Benjamin was an extremely underrated pro wrestler. Like everyone else on the planet, thinking Shelton Benjamin's underrated. And I think MVP is one of the best talkers in the game in his role. So that's what I think. I think they're bloody awesome. Now, it is a fair point about their alignment, right? Because they just do really cool moves and they look awesome and they beat people up. So maybe it is time to turn them babyface. You need the right team to do that against, but you have plenty of other heel options like FTR, like the Young Bucks in their new Comic Sans era, which is really funny. And there are other options as well. Either that or you tell the Herz Syndicate to stop doing cool stuff.
Yeah.
Good luck.
And that, you can't stop doing that.
Yeah, they're fun. They're fun, man.
To go through some of those, like Outrunners, obviously, I love them, but they're not the team for me to be honest, to defeat the Herz Syndicate. Swerve and Ospreay, yes, Swerve and Ospreay, obviously. Yeah. Gates of Agony are an interesting one because they always seem to me to be like the built-up monster team of the week, and then they'd eventually lose. They get some big wins on like Collision as part of it, and then it'd just be like, right, and you lose.
Yeah.
Now I like them even more with this Ricochet alignment, and they're having a lot of fun with that, clearly.
They're good.
Nevertheless, I think the best way to do this, or the only teams I can see going forward, unless they sign someone from WWE or bring someone else in, or just establish a new tag team. Like maybe it is a real split with MJF and he suddenly becomes a babyface with, I don't know, Hangman Page or something. I don't know.
Wardlow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It would have to be FTR or the Young Bucks, but they would have to be the heels in this. Or maybe not. Maybe there is a story, but it's a long way down the line of a redemption arc for someone like the Young Bucks. Of like, you know what, we were pretty big knobheads as EVPs, and they're sort of but that's
a while.
6 months away.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's long-term story. It's like you're not doing that anytime soon. Let us know what you think of this story in the comments section below. Who would you have the Herz Syndicate lose to? Do you hate Mike Bailey? If so, come see me, because I think you're wrong.
Stop being so happy, you idiot.
Yeah, and if you like this video, check out the one on screen right now. It's Brutal Wrestling Ribs that made it to TV. Tiny Dick in the thumbnail.
Enjoy.
Enjoy.
Bye.
That's his name, Little Richard.
Little Richard himself.